The Saiyan Day unit has been revealed, and he just might be the best you are. How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we have the reveal of the Saiyan Day unit for 2024. That is the Extreme TEQ Super Saiyan Vegeta. This is from when he first turned Super Saiyan in the battle against Android 19 from the beginning of the Android Cell Saga. And it's definitely a moment I've been waiting for to get the true animation exclusive on the Dokkan battle. So really excited. This video, we're going to take a look at what this guy is doing. We're going to take a look at the animations and kind of a little bit of what we might be able to expect coming from the rest of the celebration. If you're interested in seeing my live reaction to the reveal, make sure you check out Raudo-kun's post for the reveals. I managed to hop into VC with him and a few others, and we kind of reacted and gave our thoughts as the reveals were happening. So if you're interested in that, make sure you check the link down below. I will link to the video on Raudo-kun's channel. Now, let's go ahead, let's hop on in and let's take a look at the animation. So we're gonna pause the music here, do whatever you gotta do, adjust your headphones, and let's go ahead and let's take a look. So we got a banner unit King Vegeta. This is pretty good. He's finally getting the full animation treatment, even though it is a banner unit. Looks pretty good. And so now we have the Vegeta's animations. He does start as a base form Vegeta, which is kind of cool. Here it is. This is what we want. Definitely liking these animations. They look good. Here. This is what we want. A big bang.
Of Super Vegeta's Big Bang Attack!
And it's got the beautiful KO screen there. So there you have it. There is the animation. So let's go ahead, let's hop on over and let's take a look at what he's doing now. So he does start as a base form Vegeta, and he is Extreme TEQ because, right, this is pre-Cell fight. So pretty much all Vegeta's pre the final battle of Cell, it will be extreme units, given sort of their situation. Actually, I think Super Vegeta is actually super, right? So I think Super Vegeta and below are all extreme, right? So that's helpful, him being extreme, right? Especially with as good of a character as he is, right? Because the extreme class doesn't matter so much for the super class teams he's on. He'll be more than fine on those teams, but it is very helpful for the extreme teams that need him, like AGL Broly's team, for example, or AGL Broly on his team, for example, really needs the help from an extreme character like this because he is a Saiyan. Speaking of, that brings us to his leader skill here. Let's talk about his leader skill. So he is actually a Vegeta's Family Super Saiyans category Key 3 HP attack defense 170 with an additional 30% to Pure Saiyans Battle of Wits and Mastered Evolution, right? So interesting that we have another extreme class Vegeta's Family lead. That's now 2 within the 200% meta before getting an actual super class Vegeta's Family lead. It's kind of funny, but I mean, hey, it works, right? The leader skill honestly isn't that bad. It covers all Vegeta's, it covers all Trunks's, because every Trunks is on Battle of Wits except for Youth Trunks's, so all future Trunks's, I should say, and Mastered Evolution. There's a pretty good coverage there. Super Saiyans, Pure Saiyans is a nice one because it does cover things like AGL Broly, for example, who would work really well with this card, right? He provides some much needed coverage for Broly on the turns that he needs before he transforms. So very, very helpful there. So I do like his leader skill. On his passive, he gets Ki 2 and attack and defense 150%. He has a guaranteed guard all attacks. This is not a joke here. This is the first time since TEQ Ultimate Gohan that a TUR has had a guaranteed guard all attack with no restrictions, right? He also reduces damage received by 18% and launches an additional super attack for 3 turns from his entry turn. Also, the more HP remaining when the character attacks for the first time in a turn, the greater the additional attack boost received within the turn, up to 150% remaining when a character receives an attack for the first time in the turn. The greater the additional defense boost received within the turn, up to 150%. So basically, the more his HP is, the less damage he takes, and the more damage he deals after receiving an attack. If he receives a big attack that ends up dropping his HP, then his boost ends up a lot less. So a little interesting there. He also has an additional 31% defense with each attack received, up to 80%. So he's building defense on through his passive. He also launches an additional attack that has a 70% chance of becoming a super attack when there's an ally who includes Goku attacking in the same turn, or an enemy whose name includes Goku. So very nice. Very easy to proc those additional supers with a Goku, right? His best team would be Super Saiyans, which has an easy Goku ally, right? The LR Super Saiyan trio would easily fulfill that condition, for example, as well as literally any other Goku. Super Saiyans would cover God Goku on his team, which could be very helpful there. So honestly, pretty good if you ask me. But there's more, right? The big thing about him is not only did they give him guaranteed guard, but if we can find it here, there it is, his super attack. He is raising attack and defense infinitely. That is right, you heard me. Not only does he launch additional super attacks, with those additionals, each one is a guaranteed 30% raise, right? So with hidden potential, he has the possibility of raising his attack and defense by 90% each turn, all while guarding those attacks as he does it. Again, we have not had a unit do this since TEQ Ultimate Gohan. Now, to be fair, TEQ Ultimate Gohan was raising by 50% because he greatly raised with no additional chance. So this guy could actually potentially stack faster than TEQ Ultimate Gohan, depending on how many supers he gets in those early phases, right? But really good and really defensive in base. I like what he's doing. I have already seen he basically tanks Fusion Zamasu, which is really nice. So he's looking really good in base. But of course, right, we want to know when we get that transformation, how's he going to look? So the transformation is actually pretty easy to activate. It's literally just, 3 attacks, right? 18% or more HP, which is pretty easy to do. Starting from the 3rd turn. So incorrect. Sorry, it's not 3 attacks. It's just from the 3rd turn, 18% or more, which is pretty easy to activate. Unless you take a major super that leaves you with like 1 HP, then you're probably gonna be fine activating this. Once transformed, he becomes Super Saiyan Vegeta, and he now has Ki 3, attack and defense 180. He still keeps the guard and reduces damage received by 18%, and now it's no longer for only the 3 turns, right? It's just guaranteed. He also has an additional 180% when attacking, if HP is 30% or more when attacking. He also launches an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super attack. He also has an additional 30% if the target enemy's HP is 80% or less. He also has an additional 30% if the target HP is 60% or less and when attacking, and an additional 50% if the enemy's HP is 40% or less. So basically, he gets stronger with the more you whittle down the enemy's health, which is really nice. And each of those is additive, right? It's not like he only gets the 50%. Like if the enemy is below 50%, then you're getting the 80% buff and the 60% buff, right? So really nice there. He also has an additional defense at 180% when receiving an attack. He launches an additional super attack within the same turn and disables the attacked enemy's actions after receiving an attack. So he's the perfect slot 1 unit, right? He has a guaranteed additional, like he's launching 4 supers before hidden potential with this passive right here, right? So that's really, really good. To add into that, having an action cancel, right? Like he is really good in base. And so if you did a lot of good stacking, he's going to be hitting really hard in base. Now, unfortunately, like all transforming characters, right? Once transformed, his attack and defense go from stacking infinitely to just for the turn. But by the time you get to this point, he's going to be well strong enough to handle, as well as the fact, launching those multiple supers that he's going to be doing, he's greatly raising on each one. So each one is getting subsequently stronger than the last. Now, he does have an active skill that can be activated after he receives 3 or more attacks in battle, or when facing one enemy who's 80% or less. It is the Big Bang attack, and it massively raises attack and causing ultimate damage, and makes all attacks within the turn critical hits, right? So if you imagine, right, you do the active skill on the turn that you can do it, and then he will go into 3, maybe 4 supers, each of which being a guaranteed critical hit, getting progressively stronger as he does, right? Like, he's going to be pretty powerful. The active skill alone is going to hit really, really hard, and then he himself is going to hit harder with each attack he does, not only because of the greatly stacking on his attack and defense, but also because of the way his passive works, where he gets stronger as the enemy gets weaker. So very, very nice. I really like the way they pulled off this card. It kind of makes you feel almost in a way that, like how when Android 19 was being taken down by Vegeta, like you just see the overwhelming force as 19 gets weaker. Vegeta is showing off more and more of his strength, which is exactly what you see through this TUR. So I really, really like how they kind of pulled that off through this character's passive. Now, he does have a banner unit that is the Dokkan AGL King Vegeta. So he is a Pure Saiyans 130. Makes sense given who it is. Now, he does have key 3, attack and defense 180% on his passive. He has an additional attack and defense 90% when attacking. He changes Fizz key spheres to AGL key spheres and reduces damage received by 18% with 3 or more key spheres obtained. He has an additional damage reduction of 18% with 3 or more AGL key spheres obtained. So that's a possibility of 36% damage reduction. And he also gives Pure Saiyans, Vegeta's family, allies 30% and chance for a critical hit 18%, plus an additional attack and defense 90%. Whoa, what? Oh, no, never mind. Okay, that's for himself. I almost thought that was saying he's giving 90% to all allies. No, he gives an additional 90% to himself, and then an additional attack defense 30% when performing a super attack if there's an ally who includes if there's an ally whose name includes Vegeta in the same turn, right? So if he's on a Vegeta turn, he's giving allies 60%, and then 18% critical hit. So that's pretty good. That's a really good support unit with the damage reduction. And what's he doing on his super attack? How's his super attack looking? Super attack greatly raising attack and defense. Yeah, he's gonna be fine post super. Actually, let's actually pull that up. Let's Halvard's probably got him up already. Let's take a look here. So let's look at King Vegeta here real quick, right? So King Vegeta defensives, yeah, with the damage reduction 1.4 million, that's going to be handling most things pretty well. So without 42%, without support, right, 796. But I don't know why you would be running him in that way. He's basically going to be, he is the supporting unit, right? So he's going to have support, as well as he will, I don't know why you would run him without Vegeta. So you could just pretty much bank on this being your default. And, if you do have some hidden potential investment in him, you might see him here up to 1.4, right? So honestly, pretty good with the damage reduction. He'll be fine in the 3rd slot as a floater, I'd imagine. He's looking pretty good. How about the Vegeta? Let's look at base form here. So looking at base form, let's say you get a full build-up, right? So for the first 3 turns, with all that damage reduction and stuff, he's up to about, with 3 hidden potential additionals, you're looking at about 900k with 18% damage reduction. But he also has guaranteed guard. So remember, guard cuts all damage in half. So very, very nice. If he gets a full build up, right? So assuming 4 turns and full build up on his passive, you're looking at just over $1 million. If he manages to stack 6 times, you're looking at 1.7. Add on 40% support to that, you're looking at $2 million with guard, mind you, right? Nothing's touching this guy. Right, if he has the opportunity to get fully built up, as well as nothing's touching him, and consider, right, that's six attacks, right? So that's right, 6 SA effect stacks, right? That's 3 supers. That's 2 turns of stacking. More than likely, you're letting this guy stack far more than that. So he is going to spin out of control quickly with this defense. Now, take the defense numbers here with the Super Saiyan Vegeta with a grain of salt, right? 2.5 is really, really good. This is max with all of his super attack effects stacked up, right? This includes hidden potentials, right? So, you may be more like here, maybe not necessarily up at the 3, and with the King Vegeta support minimum. You're looking at a 2.5 with damage reduction and guard. Really, really good. But realistically, you are building up far more defense before getting into here, right? Like, I know this number up here looks scary, under 200k start of turn defense, and it is, right? However, you're not probably in most events, you're not transforming him on his second appearance, which is what this assumes, right? More than likely, you're transforming him on the 3rd or 4th appearance, right? Which is 6 stacks in base. So this is the number you're looking at. Also included the receiving the attack, right? So he's gonna be fine defensively. I've already seen him take Fusion Zamasu Super in base for 200k, and Super Saiyan he's taking far less, the int phase, mind you. So I'm really, really excited to see this guy in action. Really, really happy that this is the choice for Saiyan A. Far more hype for this than I was for God Goku. Now, we do have a couple more things, right? We have confirmation on the Easy A for the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. He's looking pretty good. He's got Key 2, attack and defense 200%. He performs a critical hit for 1 turn from his entry turn. He gives super class allies a chance to perform a critical hit 20%. He gives extreme class allies a chance to perform a critical hit 10% for 3 turns. He also has an additional attack and defense 150% for 5 turns from his entry turn. He also has an additional attack and defense 150% and a high chance of launching an additional super attack when performing a super attack for 7 turns from his entry turn. He also has an additional defense attack 100% when performing a super attack, and starting from the 8th turn from which he his entry turn. He also gets a medium chance of evading enemies' attack, including super attack, and an additional chance of evading enemies' attack 30% before attacking. So very, very nice. So basically 60% chance to evade before attacking, 30% after. He also has an additional defense 150% and a high chance of performing a critical hit for 3 turns after evading an attack. So looking very good here. I mean, realistically, this guy is a free-to-play unit, right? You can pick him up with the redstone whenever those come around, like 3 or 4 times a year. This dude's a free-to-play unit. This is pretty good for a unit that you can get for free at any point during the year. So I would definitely say, maybe not the best. We'll have to test him out in game, but I mean, he looks like he can be all right. So I am excited to see what he kind of looks like in game. Now, unsure of how we'll be able to acquire him if he's going to have a banner or if he's going to be on the Saiyan Day banner. Thanks to the data download, we already have what the main units are on the Saiyan Day banner. As expected, we have the Vegeta, we have the full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and we have God Goku returning, as well as the King Vegeta. And as I expected, Majin Vegeta is on the banner. Now, that is only these main units. We know there are going to be at least 3 more units, unknown of who they could be. Could be this Super Saiyan 3 Goku, could be Super Trunks, right? He would be a good choice to throw on here. While not a pure Saiyan, he does fit on Vegeta's lead, so it would be very, very helpful to have a character like him on the banner, but we will know for sure. Now, they did not reveal any Easy A's during that Dokkan live stream, the Dokkan Now, like they normally 2022. Last year they revealed the Beerus and Whis EZA as well as the other batch EZAs they were going to do, but not this year. So I don't think Super EZA is the big main EZA attraction, considering it doesn't even give stones the event. So my assumption is there's probably still another hidden EZA lying in the wait. No idea who it could be, right? If we look at Vegeta's main leads for Super Saiyans, really not much choices for Super Saiyans. I mean, maybe these guys, the Super Vegito did just EZA, and is a boss. These guys could maybe get an EZA to counter that, but I think that's less likely considering they are a Tanabata LR, but who's to say? Otherwise, there really isn't much in terms of Dokkan Fest under the Super Saiyans lead that could get an EZA. I guess, like I said in the previous video, Mastered Evolution would cover some Super Saiyan 3 Vegetas. Maybe they could EZA. It's possible that TEQ LR Broly could EZA. He does fit the Super Saiyans lead, right? So it's possible, and he would also help out AGL Broly if it's him. Not much on the inside either. Looking here, yeah, no, not a whole lot there that has a chance of EZAing. Gotenks maybe, but that seems pretty unlikely. So as far as the Super Saiyans lead, there isn't much choice there. Looking at his other lead for Vegeta's family, again, I mean, maybe this guy is an LR EZA. He would fit Vegeta's lead, but there's not much else. Maybe this guy could somehow squeeze it in there. This AGL Super Vegeta, he's overdue for an EZA. Let's see, who else here? No, that's pretty much it. There isn't anybody else under Vegeta's family either. Maybe this guy, the Super Saiyan 2 Trunks, he would work. He's Mastered Evolution. He would fit Vegeta's 200% lead. Unless they want to jump the gun and EZA Super Vegeta, which I'm not entirely against. I'd be happy to have his EZA, but seems pretty unlikely. Otherwise, they might jump into the pure Saiyans, right? Since it is Saiyan Day. Again, still the same. Not many choices. Maybe Super Vegeta as a choice. LRs, I doubt. Yeah, not looking like any big choices for LRs in terms of summonable EZAs. Under the TURs, AGL Bardock just got his EZA. Let's see. Obviously, this guy's Super EZA is coming. Yeah, not much on the TURs either, so we're really, really limited on who it could be. They could just go next in line. So Bardock just EZA'd from that year. Kefla, I mean, the only other option would be TEQ Ultimate Gohan. He's the next in line, technically, I think, for TURs from that year. So, I mean, possible. I don't think it's likely, but hey, it's out there. So we shall be. See, actually, they could. Pure Saiyan's Mastered Evolution. Actually, that would cover this Vegeta, or this Goku here, and the, where is it? He should be here. The TEQ Majin Vegeta. They could do a Destined Rivals EZA for these two, maybe. I would personally rather see that in a Majin Buu Saga celebration, but, you know, hey, it's there. So, yeah, that's about it for the possibilities, I think, for EZA. There really aren't too many choices at this point in the game, so we shall kind of see what they decide to surprise us with. So guys, that is it for our video. That is our overview of the Saiyan Day reveals. Super Saiyan Vegeta is pretty broke, and I'm pretty happy with how they handle them. King Vegeta, great support unit, can't wait to test him out, and very excited to see what this Saiyan Day brings. So guys, if you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let me know, what are your thoughts on Super Saiyan Vegeta, and who do you think the EZA for this celebration could be? As well, guys, if you want to check out my reaction to the Vegeta reveal, make sure you go check out the video from Raudo-kun's channel. You can hear myself, Greg, Daw, Joe Saiyan, and Raudo himself, as well as King Hitman, react to the reveal of Super Saiyan Vegeta. So, guys, that's it for the video. If nothing else, thanks for watching, and aloha.